Okay, so here we are in the last lesson for trigonometry, 6.5, the cosine law, aka Cos Law for shorthand. Now, you can use the cosine law to find either a line segment or an angle. And there's three different iterations, one starting with A, one starting with B, and one starting with C. So it depends which line segment you're looking for, and so it's interchangeable. But I'll just give you one of the forms here. So this is for a non-right triangle, and the cosine law looks like this. C squared is going to be equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C. So if in this particular equation we're looking for a line segment, we solve for the C squared over here. If we're looking for the angle, we solve for cos C on the right-hand side. Okay, so I'll just say this here is that the law for the one that you're looking for will begins and ends with the same letter. Okay, so here we have two examples, and we're using this to find the length of a side. So we're looking for QR. Another word for QR is the small letter p, just to make things a little bit simpler. Same thing over here. We'll just use the small letter p, lowercase p, to find out those things. Okay, so we've got a situation where we cannot use sine law because we don't have opposite pairs working here. We don't have these two angles, and so this is the kind of configuration where you have to be using cosine law to figure this out. Okay, so let's split this up into A and B, and we'll put A here and B here. Okay, so the calculations for this one could look like, let's just say p squared is going to be equal to, let's square the other two sides, 10 squared plus 17 squared minus 2 times 10 times 17. You know what, I'll just move this out of the way for now, and we'll replace it later. Cos, and what's the angle? 31 degrees. So P, and you can punch this into your calculator as the square root of all this stuff, right? So just copy that down. And that line segment turns out to be around 9.9 centimeters. Okay, the B, got the same sort of thing going here. P squared, the two sides are, going to be 17 and 10. Really? And the angle's 131. Okay, so it's going to be 10 squared plus 17 squared minus 2 times 17 times 10. This will be cos 131. And you know that you're just going to take the square root of this side, so we can just give the solution for P on this one, 24.7 centimeters. A couple of things about these calculations is that you can put the whole thing underneath the radical sign. Just make sure you put a bracket after the cos 31 or 131, and it'll calculate it for you. So I'll give you a quick demo of that. So we're going to start with the square root. Sign in your calculator first, and we've got 17 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 17 times 10 cos 131. Let's stick a bracket at the end of that. Make sure it works okay. 24.7 was the answer for that. So it's pretty direct the way you enter in your calculator. Okay, why don't you guys flip over to 195, 196 and get the solutions. Full solution for this problem is on page 493. Next up, let's use define the angle for this one. Okay, in this one, you're just given a word problem, and you need to be able to draw these things out. So let's put A over here, and when I drew out this triangle, don't get too caught up on where M, N, and N go, right? Let's just draw out the triangle. It doesn't even have to be to scale. It's just meant to give you a reference point as to where all the different points go. So I just went K, M, oops, and N. And we know that Km is equal to 16, and Kn is equal to 11, and Mn is equal to 6. Find the measure of angle M to the nearest degree, so we're looking for this one. Okay. Now we can't use sine law because we don't have two pairs of angles and line segments opposite. In fact, we have no angles, so this is another kind of classic configuration for cosine law, is you just have the three line segments given. So what's the side opposite the angle we're looking for? Is 11 squared is going to be equal to 16 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 16 times 6 cos m. Now cos m is the thing that we're solving for. We're looking for the angle. 121/36 plus 259 minus 192 cos m. We're going to subtract these two from both sides, so we end up with a negative 171. It's going to be equal to negative 192 cos m. And we'll divide both sides by negative 192. Comes out to be a positive 171 over 192 cos m. So we go to our calculator, do inverse cos 171 divided by 192. Angle m comes out to be 27 degrees. B is the same sort of story. Okay, so now we've got triangle. I'm just going to erase this little part here to give me a bit more room to do this solution, because these lines are long. So, you know, it's a good rule when you do cosine law to give yourself lots of room, because you're going to need it. Okay, another triangle here. Let's just call this STJ, STU, STU. So ST is equal to 16, SU is equal to 20, TU is equal to 6. Let's find the measure of angle T. Similar situation, three line segments, no angles, so you know it's going to be a cosine law. 20 squared is going to be equal to 16 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 16 times 6. And I'm running out of room. Cos T. 400 is going to be equal to 256 plus 36 minus 192 cos T. So we'll add these together and subtract them from both sides. Comes out to be 108 is equal to negative 192 cos T. And then we'll divide both sides by negative 192 and then find the inverse tan value of that. We're going to include the negative sign when we put this into our calculator. And when we do that, our angle T comes out to be 124 degrees. All right, let's get you guys over to page 198 for the checks. That's on page 494 of your work text. If you get stuck, answers are given there. Give it a try.